Okay, so where the Margaret Cousins and Janardhan Dasa, Jina Rajadasa, which were the proposing a new organization that would combine education, crafts, and sports. Okay, so once the World Indian, Women Indian Association was formed, Jina Rajadasa was anxious to encourage the formation of branch organizations. She wrote to Theosophical large secretaries throughout the Madras Presidency, explaining that a local branch of Women Indian Association would play a key role in affecting the regeneration of India. And the response to these letters was so positive. Jina Rajadasa was inspired to write, there is practically no opposition from the Hindu man to anything that women really wishes to do. Okay, so the women who formed this organization decided to call it the Women's Indian Association because membership was open to both Indians and the Europeans. Okay, so Anna Besant became the first president with Margaret Cousins and Janara Dasa and Mrs. Malati Patwardhan and Mrs. Ammu Swaminathan, Mrs. Dada Boy, and Mrs. Ambu Jamal as the honorary secretaries. Okay, so by the end of the first year, there were 33 branches within 5 years, 43 branches, 20 centers, around 2,300 members, which as a part of this Women Indian Association. Okay, so each branch accepted the main aims of association, but remained self-governing. Okay, so these made possible to mobilize the branches to express women opinion. Okay, so and despite of these organizations, where the obvious connection with and independence on the Theosophical Society, it defined itself as an association that included and represented women of all races, cultures, and religions. Okay, so when you see there, the Women Indian Organization had been politically active from the beginning when they sent a delegation to meet with the Secretary of State Montague in 1970 to request the franchise for women. So they request a right of vote to for women. Okay, so the fourth area of work is the philanthropy. Okay, so involve feeding the poor, setting up shelters for widows, and providing relief for disaster victims. Okay, so the Women's Indian Association's monthly journal, Stri Dharma, which published in English, but included articles in both Hindi and Tamil, carried news of events of interest to women, reports from the branches, and articles on women's condition. Okay, so and the early organizations of Women Indian Association found it very difficult to bring women together to form the local branches. Okay, so one more another important women association is nothing but the National Council of Women in India. Okay, in short form, NCWA. Okay, so the National Women Council in India. Okay, so which was the next All India Women's Organization established. Okay, so by 1925, women of Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras had utilized the networks developed doing war work to link their various clubs and association into a new council. Okay, so the International Council of Women convened its first meeting in Washington D.C. in 1888 to advance women's social, economic, and political rights. Okay, so and the Marchonis Aberdeen, president of the International Council from 1922 to 1936, learned of Indian Council and invited them to join the International Council. Okay, so in 1925, the NCWI was established as a national branch of International Council of Women. Okay, so Mehribai Tata, wife of Sir Dorab Tata, chair of the Executive Committee of Bombay Council in its first year, played a key role in its advancement. Okay, so Mehribai was a member of the small Parsi community of Bangalore. Her father, H.J. Baba, a well-known educationist, and supervised his daughter's education and introduced her to his European friends. Okay, so and where the accustomed to socializing with both Europeans and Indians, Mehribai was well suited to marry the eldest son of Mr. Jamsetji Tata, the founder of Tata Industries. Okay, so the couple married in 1898, and Mehribai became a member of India's most important industrial family. Okay, so during a trip to Europe in 1904, Lady Tata began to admire the commitment of English women to civic issues. Okay, so in India, she had been critical of English women for doing so little to help their Indian sisters. Okay, so and opposite to passive charity. For example, giving money to set up an orphanage, and Mehribai urged middle class women to visit slums and talk with people about disagree of living on charity and the necessity of self-respecting, honest work. Okay, so in her view, parada, a caste difference, and lack of education prevent women from working to change social conditions. As a necessary first step, she urged men to support female education and freedom of movement for women. Okay, so and in adopting a philanthropic style model on that of upper class English women, those women who joined Lady Tata were also participating in a tragedy followed by their menfolk. Okay, so many of these women, particularly in Bombay Presidency, were married to wealthy men involved in industry and banking. Okay, so just as these men supported charities and made donations that would please their rulers, so these newly emancipated women engaged in public activities. Okay, so that is also one reason where all those women were supported Lady Tata. Okay, so and despite the influence of women like Lady Tata in establishing the ideology of the council, the interests of individual members determined its work. Okay, so standing selectional committees were formed to deal with art, labor, legislation, and the press. And generally, the committees collected information, prepared memoranda, and presented these to the proper authorities. Okay, so likewise, even though such elitist nature of the various women, because the number of women members in the association were from the elite families. Okay, so because of its elitist nature, the council failed to grow and became a vital national organization. Okay, so because where the council collected the annual membership fee of 15 rupees, and it took rupees 500 to become a life member and rupees 1000 to become a patron likewise. Okay, so when it was first organized, the National Council at the three life patrons, the Dogar Begum Sahib of Bhopal, Maharani Sahib of Baroda, and Lady Gaurav Tata. Okay. So the president was HS the Maharani of Baroda, and the Maharani continued to serve the organization as president in 1928, 1932, 34, and 1936-37. Okay, so likewise, it's only confined to the elite women, many other elite women like Miss Carolia Sorabji and India's First Lady Barrister and Mrs. Tarabai Premchand, the wife of wealthy banker, Mrs. Safi Tayabji, a member of one of the Bombay's leading Muslim families, and Maharani Sucharu Devi of Maurbanj, a daughter of Kesav Chandra Sen. Okay, likewise, the many members in this organization only from the elite class. Okay, so due to this eliteness in that association, many common women which are away from this association. Okay, so and the members of the National Council of Women, which look put together for improvements they design. Okay, so shut off from the actual work among the people whose conditions they wish to improve, completely confident that they understood both the problems of Indian women and solutions to these problems. They advise the government on welfare issues. Okay, so they found this work congenial, and they contact established through family, marriage, and social interaction gave them a credibility that exceeded their experience or the numbers. Okay, so and yet the where there are certain issues which related to this women National Council of Women, where members of the NCW had not followed Lady Tata's advice to visit the slums, but there were a few women who had. One of these was Maniben Khara, a social worker who became a leading trade unionist. As a child, Manivan had secretly visited the Charles with some foreign friends. She recalled she had been shocked and ashamed. Okay, so likewise, many such conflicts which is taking place in between the council. Okay, so likewise, she started another organization with the help of other women members also. Okay, so and basically where um, uh, the first meeting which is already conducted in the first meeting of the conference there were 87 members from sorry likewise where apart from this national council for women, many women members in the council who away from Lady Tata, and they started other organizations like Seva Mandir to work among the poor, and she also taken the help of such communist leaders and such liberals to strengthen the new organization. Okay, so likewise, certain conflicts has taken place, and it lost importance then. Okay, so after that, the one more important organization we have to discuss is the All India Women's Conference. Okay, so the most important of the women's organization and most truly Indian of the three was which is we discussed in the last earlier. Okay, so All India Women's Conference, the first met in Pune in January 1927, following more than 6 months of serious work on the part of Margaret Cousins and other women belonged to this Women India Association. Okay, and the Mr. Oten, Director of Public Instructions in Bengal, urged women to decide what kind of education was suitable for Indian girls and then tell the government with one voice what they want and keep on telling us till they get it. Okay, so a reply to his challenge was published in Sri Dharma and General Sri Dharma, and this eventually led to plans for a conference. Okay, so Margaret Cousins sent circular letters to women leaders throughout India, suggesting the organized local conferences to discuss educational issues. Okay, so each conference would prepare a memorandum on female education for presentation at All India Conference to be held at Pune. Okay, so the first conference meeting of the meeting were 87 members from the local reception committee, 58 delegates from local conference, and over 2,000 observers, including men and women who attended that conference. Okay, so the Rani Sahib of Sangli delivered the opening address and introduced the first president, Maharani Chimnabai Sahib Gaikwad of Baroda. Okay, so in her opening remarks, the Rani insisted women needed a special type of education, not feminist in nature or for nature for that would imply antagonism between men and women. Okay, so but I understand to help them understand their position as a supplemental to that of men. Okay, so delegates to the conference included a large number of professionals, educationists, as well as social reformers, women associated with the national movement, and the wealthy and titled. So the several general resolutions outline the best type of education for female, including basic assumption about women's place in society, which like such proposals had taken place in the first conference. Okay, so All India, um, the All India Women's Conference did not advocate mass education for all women, nor did they envision as a world where all middle class and upper class women would receive the same education as men. Okay, so the majority of the women at the conference agreed that the educational system should concentrate on producing educated wives and mothers, but they also wanted women doctors, professors, and lawyers. Okay, so and by 1928, the All India Women Conference on Educational Reform decided there would be little progress in educational matters unless harmful social customs were eradicated. Okay, so and by the 1936, the contradictions were apparent, and again in this organization also you find certain conflicts within the ideology of various women. Okay, so even though it continued up to it continued and up to 1936, and at the end of 1930s and in the early 1940s, the All India Women's Conference faced a series of challenges to its claim that it represented and could speak for all women. And Amrit Kaur, one of the Gandhi's devoted follower, wanted the organization to emerge as a political force for women. Okay, so this proposal was voted down, and the All India Women's Conference was committed to a comprehensive legal bill for women. This project was not popular with Muslim women. Many of women believed Muslim law came from the Quran and could not be tampered with. Okay, so by the 1940s, the All India Women Conference was establishing itself as the premier organization representing women in 1939, the old system of presenting resolutions from floor ended. Thereafter, resolutions were submitted by the branches from the meeting. In 1941, All India Women Conference established its quarterly general Roshni, and in 1946 set up a central office with permanent staff. Okay, so with the organizational details complete, they could devote their energies to two major tasks, publicity and propaganda, and devote their energies, devote propaganda on the women's issues, and reach to provide a database on women in India. Okay, so the provincial branches took a new life during the war years. Some of these organizations took up social issues, sometimes with a supporting peasant movements, teaching untouchables, encouraging political involvement like that. Okay, so they reached out women. The central body had ignored, but this was hard work. In a report to the Honorary General Secretary Kulsum Sayani, Mrs. Dina Asna, which confessed her failure. Okay, so in educating the adult women. Okay, so likewise, even though these organizations worked on the various issues like the child marriage, and also eradication of dowry system, and also various to helping the widows basically, and providing education to the widows, and prohibiting the child marriages, and overall which strengthen the mobilization of women, particularly in the free India. Okay, so the number of women who participated directly, or who encouraged their, who were mobilized indirectly by these organizations. Anyhow, these organizations which created certain awareness among the women of Indian traditional system, both in Hindu and the Hindu and Muslim societies. Okay, so dear students, this is about various women organizations which established only by themselves. Okay, so which and later many organizations have started, but those confined to certain regions and certain territories. Okay, so no other organization which brought all these into a single platform, and no All India organization has established. But that happened only after the Indian independence. Okay, so this is about my class today, students, regarding my lecture. You have any doubts or clarifications, you are welcome to ask. Students, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Doubts to nine?
No doubt, sir.
Right, right. Ending my class.
Okay, sir.